Camelot Forever, Lancelot's Redemption, Chapter 1. A beekeeper. Not the most illustrious of careers, one must admit, but when introduced anywhere, the likelihood of being fawned over as that Mr. Holmes decreased drastically. From there, the detective could go about his business, falling beneath the radar, as it were. That was where he preferred to be these days, quite honestly. The puzzle of the world was so much larger than it had been over 100 years before. So many things to discover even now. So many more mysteries to solve. Some large, some small, some personal. Such was the case of his great-granddaughter Elizabeth. Since the day she was born, she had been a continuing delightful mystery to observe and mentor, and love. He chuckled at the thought of the great consultant detective being a doting great-grandfather. Oh, not in the bouncing on his knee variety. No, that was more Watson's forte. Holmes prided himself on being more the mentor type. Elizabeth was a part of his legacy, a great part in his opinion. And in truth, that might also have been due to her ancestry from another lineage. Before this business of using DNA to trace one's ancestors, Holmes had done a fair amount of research on the subject. Interesting indeed. And if she and Lawrence continued their project, what other answers might they find? As well as what other mysteries? Very interesting. Ah, but he was but a humble beekeeper with no time for such endeavors. No, of course not, he thought as he patted up stacked folders and files. Looking around his study, he realized it might be nigh time to install more bookshelves for a little light reading. Soon he would be welcoming another generation in. Chapter 2. I definitely felt a kick that time, he said, touching her stomach. Elizabeth said, "Every time you kiss me." "Please, my love, take it easy today," he said. Lawrence Mann kissed his wife goodbye. He hated that she wasn't accompanying him to work at the university where he could keep her close, just in case. Not today, not in her condition. As important as their project would be, the upcoming birth of their first child was far more important, and in any case, her own work was a good 20 minutes in the other direction. "I have no idea what you are referring to, sir," she said, grabbing him by the lapel of his tweed jacket and pulling him in for one last kiss. "So you say," he said, sneaking in one last peck on the cheek. He was all too aware of the adventures she had had in the past, especially given her infamous great-grandfather. Even though he knew she wasn't due for another 2 weeks and showed no signs of going into labor any time in the immediate future, he joked as he walked to the car that this could be the day. Fortunately, he was far enough out of her line of sight to not be beamed in the back of the head. She had quite the aim, that one. He waved and settled into the 45-minute drive to his work. Many mornings he wished they lived closer to the college, but the cottage was exactly what they were looking for when they decided to leave their apartment and begin to start a family. Not thinking it might happen this fast, he had been taken aback when one evening, only weeks after the move, Elizabeth brought out a baby cake, decorated half pink and half baby blue for dessert. Overjoyed, the couple celebrated with cake and some sparkling ginger ale and champagne flutes they had on hand. Lawrence reached down and put in one of his favorite CDs, Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell.